So, welcome to Channeling Jesus, day 7. So, when I started this, I didn't realize how much I was being supported. So, it's an interesting thing that I'm going through now, because it is very much about, I feel like I'm in this middle point of deciding, do I effort more or do I receive more? I'm in this really sweet spot with this whole project, because I've been used to pushing so much, and I'm being guided to receive, and I have received, but I've also received resistance towards receiving. So I'm sort of pushing it a little bit away, and I'm talking about this entire process to channel Jesus. It is a great honor and a gift that, and this is the thing that I want you to get, is that it wasn't me going, yes, I want to channel Jesus. Yes, I did that in the past, in the dualistic perspective. But I didn't want to come from that place when I'm in alignment. I'm following. What am I here to do? What is my mission? That is what my goal is, to do this mission. And so I'm following and I'm planning. So there's more things going on than just that. But I can feel that Gaia and life and everyone around me is just asking me to receive. Receive. You don't have to effort so much. Just receive. Receive everything the way that it is. Receive life in its purity, in the essence of truth. What is actually going on is the most loving thing you can do, to really look at what's going on. And so these seemingly magical things that this being is experiencing, receiving his environment, reading his environment, it's a direct correlation between the work that he has done, landing his body, landing his soul into his body. And that is the work that you are all on, whether you want to admit it or believe it or not. Because the soul and the body, those are the two beings that you are all seeing depicted outside of you. Your relationship to those two. And how that looks on the outside can take many different forms. But it is always these two. It's the higher knowledge, the beings that receive higher knowledge, which are usually the masculine. They're very intellectual. They usually receive the logical guidance from the divine. And then you have the earthly, more rooted in reality, wild, usually feminine. Those two energies that you see depicted in people, usually man and a woman, but nowadays it can be anything, really. So many variations. However, that is just the outward expression, so let's not get confused about different realities. So what we're talking about is the energy reality of what is true energetically, because that is where you can make alterations. yourself. You can't make alterations when it's already manifested. You can only make alterations within yourself, knowing who you are and what is actually going on here, and you can make alterations. And these alterations, they are in service to more energy for you. And what is that? More energy for you equals more joy. But it's not always that simple, because sometimes we blame others for our misery. That's never the case. That's like looking in the mirror and blaming the mirror. Because that's all what this is. Even though it looks different, even though it seems different, you can smell it, you can touch it, you can experience it. It's a wonderful experience. It can be. But it will only be a wonderful experience, truly, when those two are aligned. Because that's when you truly see reality accurately of what's actually going on here. Because we have been so conditioned through our minds to believe certain things. And this is like for marketing too. Like, it's everywhere. And to be able to identify what's energetically correct from the mind is impossible. You can't do that, because it will just be a logical guess, because you have no way of knowing for sure. So that analytical person, they're sort of on remote control. They're not fully in their bodies yet. And so that is one type of being, right? And that energy is inside of all of us. We all are a little bit like this. Let me just turn up this a little bit there. Yeah, creative lighting. So the same with the relationship with the body. Like, where are you there? If you look at all of these two aspects, don't look at it outside, look at it inside. Those two main energy aspects are something that we work with on the inside, so that you can harmonize those two energies. Because those two energies are you in connection with your body. Your feminine energy is the body, regardless if you're a man or a woman. Too much. Okay, this is the, well, this is what it is. We are playing with it. This is the thing. Like, this is the perfect depiction of the relationship between me, inside of me, the masculine, the logical, wanting things to be looking good, professional, and all of that stuff, you know? And then there's the earthly part of me that's like, but come on, we're having fun here. You know, like, people will get it. So those two are perfect depictions of how, once you identify this with yourself and you start to play with it, you'll see that the only incongruency is within yourself. And then it depends on you. If you're very intellectual, how are you treating your body? How are you treating that playful side and all of those things? Right? Because unless you do that, you're not going to feel joy and happiness, because you need some of that. You need some of that, you know? It's a light show. So, so that's the game now. The game of this consciousness training is to identify these two aspects. This is Jesus. We're not announcing ourselves, because this is a little bit of a gradual process, because it is sometimes important to inject some of the human sides and some of it, some of this and some of it, some of that. And if you are sensitive, you can know when we shift between different aspects. That is a very good training for you to do the same as I'm doing. Now from the body, right? This is how it is to be multidimensional, but aware that you're multidimensional, because you're aware of what is going on. And we don't need to be labeled as crazy then, because it is actually quite natural to speak from different levels of frequency. It's just that many beings there's been so much misinformation about how human energy truly works and operates in harmony. That is what we hope that these will bring to you, so that you will see reality correctly. When you see reality correctly, you will automatically shift upward in frequency, more in alignment with truth. That will be more in alignment with Gaia, and that will be more in alignment with your body. And that's how we elevate. We elevate by grounding into the reality that we see around us. We're not here to take off. We're here to land so that we can go up. The deeper we go, the farther we can go in frequency. That's how that works. The deeper we land into the body, the farther we can tune in. But there first needs to be a landing. And many beings are still operating the body on remote control. And that needs to be adjusted. That's why we're looking at these two aspects, so that we can start to play with them inside. That's what we're going to invite you to do. To play with these inside, these two aspects. First, this one, I just want you to notice them. See if you can identify them. Am I more masculine here or more feminine here? And know that masculine is linked to that higher. It's actually linked to the higher centers of the body, and the intuition and the movement and dance and being in the environment is linked to the lower centers of the body. This is how chakras comes into play. And then based on how well you are doing in each area, if you look up what the first chakra represents in terms of what characteristics, and then the second and the third, right? Power center, sexuality, power center, and then the heart is in the middle. So you have to balance these three first, and then you have to balance the crown so that you are able to receive information. And so all of the filters of logic, that's why teaching and learning about these things are very helpful, so that you can correct your mental space, so that you can land more energy into your third eye, because the more correct you're seeing things, the more you will see things in your third eye, the more you will speak things that you see correctly. I got distracted. There was someone right in front of me that was walking, so I got a bit distracted. And there comes the husband. This is it. I'm just very sensitive, and I can feel, and it depends on what they do with their energy. Like if they are, it depends. And it depends on what I do with my energy as well. So obviously my energy is really big now because I'm receiving so much. So So all we want you to do for this one is to recognize these two aspects so that we can start to work with this. So start to look and observe when you are in one and when you are on the other. And also, if you are more in one and less in the other. And just start to notice. Just be curious about yourself and about your own inner workings and your internal energy. It is very exciting. It is an exciting game that will give you tremendous rewards spiritually. It will enhance everything in your life when you start to master these things that we're going to guide you through in these 28 days. Thank you so much for being here. You're doing great. We are very excited to have you all here and to bring through some really needed consciousness shift training for all of you guys so that you can elevate in frequency and connect with us. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you again in the next one. Ciao.